rabbis of yesteryear were on the 30th of Nisan, just approaching Rosh Chodeshiyah. It marks the Hilula of famous rabbi from Tzfat. His name was Yakov Berav, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. Very, very great rabbi, also known as the Mahari Berav. He was actually born in the year 1464. Reported passed away on April 3rd in the year 1846. Naturally, that would have been the 30th of Nisan. He was very great, influential rabbi of his time, a great Talmudist, and he was known very much for his ordination. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in the area of Makyuda, that's also naturally known as Castel. This was in the year 1474, and passed away in Tzfat. That was at that point in time as part of Ottoman Syria. That was in the year 1546. Very, very great rabbi in itself. He actually later on be buried also, I believe, in Tzfat, in the old Jewish cemetery over there. So he was born in 1474, and he was a Talmid of the famous Rabbi Yitzchak Aboab. Now, the great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. We very much know that in 1492 there was expulsion of the Jews from Spain. From Spain, he went to Fez in Morocco at that point in time, or Ouattazid ruled Morocco. I think at that point in time there was 5,000 Jewish families over there, and they would choose him to become his rabbi. That was a very, very prominent position, and he was still in his youth at that point in time. He was only about 18 years of age when he received that appointment over there. And then afterwards he would actually go to Tlemcen over there, then the chief town of the Barbary states, let's just say, itself. Their Jewish community consisted of 5,000 families, and they chose him to be their rabbi. So once again, this was the same amount. It was a great respect, let's just say, there paid for him. And I think there was a famous man, Abraham Gavison, quotes him by Yitzchak Berlin's Omar HaShicha, I think, gives a quote within regards to Jacob Berav, Rabbi Yakov Berav, respectively, within regards to that. It's not known how long that Rabbi Yakov Berav will actually spend at that point in time. He would actually end up in, I think there was a social and economic conditions was very difficult over there. This would actually result in him not staying for long, but he went with, I think, to Egypt, Spain, Egypt, then spent the time here in Jerusalem over there. And I think several years later, come up the year 1527, the Rabbi Yakov Berav will now reside in Damascus, another area, and in 1533 became the rabbi at Cairo. So he was very, very well traveled in many, many different rabbinic positions. And I think several years afterwards, he finally settled in Tzfat over there. And I think that would have the largest Jewish community in Ottoman Syria. And over there, he came with this, let's say, very establishing a central spiritual Jewish power over there. Now, let's talk about the plan for the ordination, which Berav had a plan for the introduction of the old smicha, rabbinic ordination. And it's likely that his further plans included the re-establishment even of the Sanhedrin. Rabbi Yakov Berav's model was the Sanhedrin of the, let's say, the Tannaitic times, the Tanaim, which consisted of men who could trace their ordination back to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses. Yet for more than 1,000 years, the historians comment on this according to it. Some people would say that his resolution of a certain his plan, problem of the Marranos returning to the Jewish faith, according to some people, and in order to free them from divine punishment, some rabbis of the land of Israel considered applying to them the punishment of makot, which can only be assigned by the Sanhedrin. So Rabbi Yakov Berav writes about this problem, I think, in a responsa out there in great detail. Now, I think this ordination of 1530, giving him the right to ordain any number of others who would then form a Sanhedrin. However, in discourse in the synagogue at Tzfat, Rabbi Berav defended and showed the nature of the rights conferred upon him. On hearing of this event, let's just say, most of the other Jewish scholars expressed their agreement, and the few who, let's say, denounced, let's say, the innovation, didn't have necessarily the formal courage to oppose Rabbi Berav and his following. Rabbi Berav would then, reported over, ordain a few other rabbis, including the chief rabbi of Jerusalem, Rav Levi ibn Habib, Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh. Rav al-Sheikh ordained Rabbi Chaim Yosef Vital, Rabbi, I think, of 90 itself. Now, he'd have like a correspondence, like a robust debate with another rabbi, Rabbi Ibn Habib, which I recommend everyone to also look into. He had various different rulings. For example, most famously, Rabbi Berav viewed Portuguese conversos, the Jews who were forcibly converted to Christianity, as remaining Jewish despite their conversion and subsequent generations. Apparently there was reported over to be an inheritance dispute. And Rabbi Berav ruled that only the children born to the convert to Judaism were deemed of Gentile status and thus were not eligible for inheritance. That was another one of his famous different opinions when he passed away. I hear from somewhere else it might have been the year 1541. So different opinions with regards to that. Now, another opinion said 1546. So I would double check on all of these things. Among his students included the famous Rav Yosef Karo, Rav Moshe Metarani, Rav Avram, I think Shlomo, Rav Yisrael D. There was other rabbis also. So the Gaon Kassi, basically, which is author of the famous Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, respectively. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Please subscribe to the channel. It was a rabbi. He also authored a lot of great books, a lot of great responsa, which I would recommend everyone to also look into. Many, many famous books, and which I would recommend everyone to search about. And it's his Hilula here on Lamed Nisan. Don't forget to light candles. 100 great rabbanim. So if you happen to be, let's say, please, I would love to hear more. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. If you feel anyone's interested in watching these videos, share the videos. Wishing you a good day and take care.